Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to a new video on World Legends of Morgenthau. I held a poll in my Discord server, in my friend's Discord server, and a very specific topic showed up. But on the topic of topics, the voting is finished, and the peace treaty of Kashmir is finalized. Oh, hold on. With favor going to India, India gains the full part of Kashmir. Here, the disputes are over. Well, kind of. China's salty, but it'll be fine. Kashmir goes to India. And with India now growing in size, taking away land from China now. Well, that's not good. Also, as you can see, I added a little bit of some more border disputes that China currently has, as well as some current disputing territories. So, let's continue with this episode. Currently, the Iran and Saudi tensions are high, and with and since the creation of the Eurasian Union, Cisco, or CSTO, I don't know how you want to say it, CSTO, was abandoned once the Eurasian Federation came into pact, which left Armenia kind of screwed and alone. Soon, unfortunately, crisis does start, and a conflict breaks out. At first, everyone's a bit wary. No one really knows what to do, but it's not a good start to this. The first thing that happens is Armenia re-enters and tries to capture the enclave, which goes well, but Azerbaijan immediately rushes in to try and take the north side, the northern. Turkey sees this and starts threatening Armenia to back off, or Turkey will join the conflict. With this, Iran tells Turkey to back off, or they will join the conflict. So it starts spiraling. Also, with this, finally, Syria is kind of dying at the moment. With this, two major parties are now in control, the communists and the democratic parties. The communist insurgents take most of the north and kind of start sweeping through crushing the democrats. But they hold out in small bastions and are able to make some minor gains back. Back on the subject of war, though, Azerbaijan immediately takes a full-scale attack and reclaims their enclave. However, Armenia does push them back and regain the small bit of land here. The Eurasian Federation is not getting involved for this, which leaves Armenia kind of not in a great position. And in the coming hours, Turkish officials are going off the rails at the moment, declaring that Armenia leave Azerbaijan at once and a peace negotiation will be achieved. Diplomacy begins to continue breaking down as in complete violation of the armistice that Turkey was trying to get them both to sign. Armenia punches through more and full-scale invades Azerbaijan. With this, we have the declaration of war from Iran onto Azerbaijan. Immediately, Azerbaijani troops are crushed and are forced to retreat as a full-scale invasion of Azerbaijan happens. With this, Turkey gets involved fully in the war. They send an ultimatum to Armenia and Tehran, to the Armenian capital and Tehran, saying that if they do not leave within 72 hours, that the Turkish forces will arrive, and Armenia will no longer exist. With this, the axis of resistance is called up between Iran and the communists in Syria. With this, the axis of resistance also claims Iraq, which in turn makes Saudi Arabia join the conflict. Everybody watches from the sidelines in horror as the 72 hours are up. Turkish forces invade Armenia. A sweeping campaign is taken where they immediately manage to take out and reinstate the enclave and push around here, pushing and breaking the lines. Immediately with this following, Iraqi troops invade the democratic Syria and split it in two. This side over here is encircled and crushed. With that, democratic Syria surrenders and Syria officially joins just in time for Turkey to begin in their invasion. Egypt decides to side with Turkey for right now and starts sending military to Saudi Arabia and supplies to Turkey. With this, the war is starting to reach its the war has reached its apex, as Iranian troops are now amassing across the border of Turkey. Kuwait is indefinitely occupied by Iraq and Iran and invaded through. With this, though, Saudi Arabia does have a pretty good handle and starts invading pretty decently, I'd say. With this, India starts sending support over to Islamic countries. For the first time in ages, India opens up trade through the Suez as to trade specifically with Turkey. Indian military goods and such reached Turkey, which help in a new front. They managed to push Iran back a little bit, and with this, they managed to cut off Armenia, and Armenia fully surrenders. However, this is not the end of the war, as now the war has reached full scale. Syria, being a disheveled mess, still does not have the military might at all to put up a fight against Turkey, and so Turkey easily starts invading Syria with almost little to no problems. They invade through here and cut up here, flanking behind, crushing troops. Though Iran makes a great push, capturing the capital of Azerbaijan, pushing back into Armenia, where they use this to make a pretty decent encirclement here and cut off part of Azerbaijan. Their goal is to split up like this and cut Azerbaijan off from Turkey. Meanwhile, their invasion here is going pretty smoothly, and they're being pushed, and Saudi Arabia is being pushed back here. With this, we have Israel sending supplies as to Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. Iran launches another blitz campaign into Anatolia, which reaches some degree of success. However, Turkey starts pushing them back and they have to retreat a little bit. But Iran does manage to do a pretty decent encirclement here, which cuts them off, leading to the disconnection of Azerbaijan from Turkey. Armenia has been reinstated as a country and has its government back. However, things are not looking well in Syria, as while they did make some minor gains, Turkey is more focusing on this side. And now that they've propped up this part, they're starting to invade this back again with some of the democratic insurgency's help. With this, they manage to push with the Saudis and meet up, disconnecting these two portions, which hold quite a few bit of divisions. Eventually, after some battles lost, the division surrenders. With that, Turkey starts their huge campaign into the north of Iraq. Meanwhile, they start clearing out the rest of Syria. The United States also decides to help and starts sending even more support to Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey, ramping up the war for them. Finally, after Saudi Arabia makes a major break through the lines and starts threatening encirclement. They make a huge push right here, which helps push back against Iran. With this, however, comes the red team's greatest push. They push and manage to capitulate Azerbaijan from the war. They also push and completely remove Turkish forces out of Armenia and started a full invasion of Anatolia. While Turkey is starting to ramp up its conscription, which helps slow the assault a little bit. Down here, things are going great, as finally they hit Kuwait and invade here, reinstating Kuwait and snipping off this division, which surrenders immediately. With this, so we have the complete surrender of this division here and the full-scale invasion of Iraq. With this, they push out from Syria, and now Iraq is put under a lot of stress. With this, Iran does a pretty decent trick. They push hard here in a huge bulge. Turkey is unable to fight off a lot of the waves. Because of this, Iran has retreated from most of its troops to hold a more defensive ground. But in doing this, ensures for a great victory as they push here, separating these two lines from each other. With pushing down upon these forces, as they are encircled and destroyed. While there are major losses for Iran, there are major victories. As with that, they also perform a pretty good encirclement of this area and they capture it. they reinvade into this area. They'll have a lot of trouble trying to reinvade it now that it has been recaptured and is stocked with Turkish troops. Saudi Arabia costs a lot of man by doing another full-scale attack with Turkey. And with this, we have this one huge front line from here all the way up here. Turkey needs to not let Azerbaijan die, because Turkey's best and closest friend is Azerbaijan. They're practically one and the same. So, with this, Turkey begins their ultimate move. They gather a fighting force around here and prepare for an attack. It's the scariest force that Iran has ever seen on the battlefield. And so they start putting troops here as well. But just a day before Turkey was supposedly supposed to schedule the invasion, and the army group, half of the army group, moves here. In just a few days, with light armored vehicles, they have moved half of their troops over here for a strike that Iran was not expecting. And while this strike, now significantly weaker, failed a little bit, the strike here was a catastrophic failure for Iran and the greatest success for Turkey, as they slam all their troops here, which causes a panic up here for encirclement and starts a mass retreat. They managed to cut off Iranian troops in their country and destroy them. With this, Turkey begins major victories. He's almost completely pushing Iran out of their country. They also do another full-scale attack. However, they're starting to near the mountain of Iran, because all this right here is kind of just mountain. It's kind of impossible to invade Iran from there. You need to use it by sea. Speaking of which, the U.S. lended one of their super carriers and all of its attack force to Saudi Arabia to fight against Iran. This goes successfully, as I'm just going to briefly show you what the map for sea used to look like. It's kind of something along the lines about something like this was all Iran waters, and this is all Saudi waters, but now it's almost fully kind of just gone over. So much so that they've destroyed almost every single ship within this Gulf and invade the southern portion of Iran. This doesn't go great, however, because Iran soon pushes it out, but it's enough of a distraction for Turkey to make their next play. They push small here, acting like they're going to push from the north here, but they immediately turn around and strike here, liberating this part, invading this part, and full-on invading into Azerbaijan. With this, and a full-scale attack on Armenia, Armenia falls pretty quickly, allowing for a quick release of Azerbaijan. With this, they managed to fully invade and managed to even cut off a little bit of troops here, which surrendered. This is horrible for Iran, because this is kind of the first major attack they've had on their country. And with more plays being made, they're having to withdraw. And now they aren't winning on any front. With this, the capital of Iraq is captured, and Iraq falls into anarchy. With this, a full-scale attack on Iran is set. However, it's not easy to just get a peace deal out of Iran because of all these mountains that I talked about right here. With this, Iran uses this to their defense and fortifies these mountains with artillery. The blue team knows that they can't really invade Iran, especially when Iran starts pushing them back with a bunch of conscription. They make some pretty decent gain in managing to push back into Iraq a little bit, but nothing major has been gained. And so with this, we have the initial peace deal for this war. So let's check out and see what this peace deal is like. And now we have the peace deal. Now you may be thinking a few thoughts, so let me explain. Well, Armenia was kind of fully annexed and split between Azerbaijan and Turkey, but because they're both basically the same thing, in the border that used to look something like this, actually no, it was more something like this, that's kind of, they're thinking about merging it. I think I'm going to leave it like that actually for now, but just know there might be a real union between these two later on. Iraq is our rock. I don't know why I made that joke. And it gets split up between Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Iran. Iran did get a little bit out of this. Syria dead, I guess. Yeah, Turkey took the whole northern half of Syria. So now Syria's in an even worse position than they are normally, which isn't good. So anyways, yeah, that is the war. With this, tensions around the world are rising even more, or as disputes are being settled and conflicts are growing. China still claims their side of Kashmir, and have been starting to send some very serious threats over to India. So, and tensions between Germany and the Atlantic Alliance are kind of deteriorating, especially since Germany now has a new elected leader, and they have left the alliance for good. The United States condemns this act, but most of the Atlantic Alliance swears to not declare war on Germany for this act. But instead, Germany starts getting some evil ideas. So one thing you gotta know about the Morgenthau plan is that they plan to use the Rhineland, one of the most industrial heartlands of Germany, as an international zone, where basically everybody would have been allowed to use the factories there. Even this, combined with North and South being split, this is a worst thing that could have happened for Germany, as people in Berlin on the streets starve, as produce and stuff is hardly able to be manufactured due to the industrialization of Germany being in this area, therefore killing more people than the Holocaust could have ever dreamed of competing with. More Germans died in this timeline than in the Holocaust itself. Some say this is an act of karma, but the German people would say otherwise, as we both know that it was only Hitler's intention and not the will of the German people. The German people were brainwashed by Hitler, But deep down we know that most Germans probably did not think of doing the Holocaust themselves. But with this, angry resentment grows in Germany, which sparks a scary conflict. German nationality and pride is at an all-time high, and with this, a new war begins. One that shakes the West, that shocks the West as much as it does the East. The Germans are now fighting again. Next time on World Legends Morgenthau.